Hey everyone, we'd like to thank you for coming to round 6 of the Arizona Off-Road State Championship Series. And we've got a tough race planned for you today, and it's going to be a long one.
All right, it's race day. And I haven't filmed anything. I've been out here for, well, today's day 2. Camping out and just trying to not, you know, just to be in the moment and not film everything. But now it's race time. Got the camera going. We missed some pretty cool thing. Oh, a Joe Rockstar fan came up to me this morning and wanted to take a selfie with me, which was pretty cool. That's never happened.
Mr. Rockstar.
How you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
All right, good luck, man.
Thanks, buddy. Be safe. So anyways, it's an enduro race, which means that we're not going to be doing any bar banging for this race. Hey, how's it going, buddy?
How are you, pal?
I'm doing well. How are you?
See ya, good.
So I was just saying we're not going to be doing any bar banging this race.
No, we're not. You're 58, Dean, so I'll enjoy the back of your bike for a while. Have a good race.
You have a good race. Please be safe out there, man. So the way it works is everybody, they take off one bike at a time, 15 seconds apart, and then you just do the test as fast as you can, and then when you get to the end of it, you take a short little transfer ride to the next test section and you do the same thing again. So we start with 24 miles and then we have two more tests after that, 14 miles each. It's going to be a long race. It's going to be a very long day. Expecting about 4 hours, so obviously I won't get all of it on film, but I'll get as much as I can.
Joe Rockstar.
What's up, buddy? But there is a time limit for the total day. We have to be starting the third test by 3 o'clock at the latest. And they told us if you're really, really tired when you get to the third test, don't even bother starting it. They really gave us probably the best pep talk at a rider meeting ever. It sounded something like this.
Hey everyone, we'd like to thank you for coming to round 6 of the Arizona Off-Road State Championship Series. And we've got a tough race planned for you today, and it's going to be a long one. In fact, this course is so long, it's the equivalent of hiking from Arizona to Ohio in 4 hours barefoot. So make sure you bring your hydration packs. Now you probably won't make it, and you should quit now. But if you still want to give it a shot, well, as long as you finish test 1, you're still considered a finisher, not a quitter. Now count on this being the most miserable you've ever been in your entire life by the end of test 2. So if you want to quit there, you can as well. But whatever you do, don't even think about starting test 3 unless you want to die of dehydration. Now in some places we mark the course well. Everywhere else, well, you're just going to have to figure it out for yourself. Now there's a few danger signs out there, but to be honest, the entire course is dangerous. Essentially, this is what you'd call a suicide mission. You'd probably be safer had you joined the US Army back in 1970 and went to Vietnam. Speaking of safety, if you have a problem out there and you go down, whatever you do, don't call out. If the local wildlife hears you struggling or smells blood, they're likely to come and eat you. So just sit tight and we'll get to you. Anyways, it should be fun, so we'll see you at the end of the race and good luck out there.
Okay, so I might have exaggerated the rider meeting a little, but there was some doom and gloom about how long and difficult the course would be. But I wasn't worried, because you see, Groot and I, we've been working out. And I watched my helmet cam from rounds 2 and 3 and row for at least 1 lap, which comes out to be about 30 minutes. With all that exercise and eating right, well, I'm ready as I'll ever be.
When we finish this pizza, we're gonna have some brownies, some pie, and some cake.
Seriously?
Turn it up!
Truth be told, I've been seriously slacking off on the diet and exercise. I've gained back almost all the weight I lost since I started riding, and it shows. As the race photographer pointed out, he could see my fat stomach bouncing up and down as he reviewed the photos of me from the race. I went from 165 pounds when I started my first full season to 205 pounds. This race would be a true test of my fitness and endurance. And things started out okay. I was pacing myself well, and it wasn't long before I caught up with the first of many slower riders that I would have to get by in this race. Now, in previous races, you probably heard me hooping and hollering at slower riders. But Mike Johns, who I consider a good friend and mentor, once said to me, "A real good rider will find a way to pass without yelling at the other riders." And I took that to heart. I really wanted to give it a try this race. I have to tell you that not yelling at the slower riders does not come naturally. For one, I feel safer letting them know that I'm there. And two, I'm not very good at finding alternate lines to get around them. And in sections like this, going slow is harder than going fast. It's frustrating when the rider in front of me is struggling and we end up going too slow for the trail conditions. One mistake on their part, and I go right down with them. When I caught up with Nick, I tried honestly to stay patient and look for a line that could help me get by. But after what felt like an eternity, I lost my cool. I had to get moving because somewhere, not far behind me, was Chris Bouchard. Chris started a full minute behind me. If he catches me, surely he'll beat me in the first test.
Well, it kind of sucks. I forgot to tighten my throttle tube after I adjusted my levers. So it's sliding off the bars, messing me up a little bit. Not an excuse, just it is what it is, you know. So at the end of this test, I gotta get my tools out, and I'm so glad I brought some with me. I almost didn't. I fixed that.
While I downplayed the effects of the throttle tube slipping, it really did make a huge difference. It made the numerous whooped out sections on this track very difficult.
Oh, these bullets are killing me. if you're too tired to blitz them, there's nothing worse than no obstacle, I think. It's just exhausting. If you can blitz through them, get on the gas, they'll be over before you know it. But if you're in my position right now, I'm spaghetti arms. I can barely hold on to the bike, and I can't trust my throttle tube to stay on, because the throttle, it's with it jacked up like that, it's really hard to chop it or let it off. It just sticks to my glove, so I almost have to take my hand completely off the handlebars. Oh, the throttle came all the way off. It's upside down.
Remember what I said in the last race about rivals putting the wind back in your sails?
Are you kidding me?
About 3/4 through the first test, I caught sight of Chris Bouchard, and he was definitely less than a minute behind me. I needed to really step it up and push the last few miles in order to minimize the damage. Although I was first through the finish of test 1, Chris was right behind me. I had blown the minute head start I had on him, and to catch up, I would have to be almost perfect in tests 2 and 3.
Hey, hey! Almost.
The thing I like about enduro races is that unless you're slow and way behind, you have plenty of time between timed test sections to take a break. I fueled up the bike, fixed the throttle tube, ate a snack, and drank some water before I lined up for test 2.
Alright, so we're at the start of the second test, and like an idiot in that last test, I got too slow, relaxed too much, and Chris caught up with me. Now he left first from here about 10 riders ago, so I doubt I'll see him until the end of the race.
Of course I still get tired in a race, but it's nothing like it was before. Even with the major weight gain and poor diet, I'm not suffering nearly as much as I used to. In one of my older videos I talked about the difficulty of single track, and I came up with 3 major elements to riding single track competitively: technique, course management, and endurance. And I also talked about how each element affects the others. Now I struggled so long with fatigue, which used to cause me to struggle with technique and course management. Now that fatigue is less of a problem for me, I'm doing much better, and I think I have to chalk that up to better fundamentals because it sure isn't fitness. I was still trying to avoid yelling at other riders, but I decided that if I had to, I would try at least to be encouraging. A little too much rear brake and a lot of not taking my own advice. I should be in a lower gear, and letting the engine braking ease me down the hill. But with the Recluse auto clutch, there's not much engine braking unless you use the proper technique. Now, who has two thumbs and wasn't using the proper technique? This guy. To make matters worse, every time I went to pick up the bike, I kept giving it gas. And that last time, it took me for a ride and put my hand right into a cactus. Finally, I said heck with it and coasted down with the engine off. This is Rick Scott in front of me. Rick has been one of the longest running supporters of this channel, and I also consider Rick a friend. Having someone as fast as Rick to pull me around the course really helped lift my spirits. I got my second wind and really started to hit my stride. Unfortunately for Rick, who was in the B class, the route for his class was much longer and much more difficult.
Let's go, Rick, let's go! Woo! Go, 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 go! Keep going, keep going, you got it, man, you got it!
Test 2 was over way before I expected. I was tired, but I wasn't even close to spent. I was starting to think that they were just trolling us in the rider meeting. I mean, this was kind of easy. Maybe Test 3 would be the real ass kicker of the day. Surely it couldn't be that bad, could it?
How was it out there?
Oh, that's alright. Yeah.
It's a nice slow mile. Look right here. A lot of flowy, but it's a wash as well, okay?
Hi, how you doing?
So your split's about 3 miles in, okay?
Right.
This is C only. Stay to the left.
I hope I got a good sense of when 3 miles is.
Yep. course.
Test 3 seemed longer than 10 miles. I could sense the end was getting close, and I was determined to finish strong. I had a lot of lost time to make up for thanks to this comedy of errors, and I can't help but think if I would have rode like this from the start, I would have done a lot better in this race. I wanted to push hard until I had nothing left or the finish line, whichever came first. Well, the course broke before I did, and I hit the finish line strong.
That's it?
For my efforts, I managed to 6th place. Not bad, but I have to say, I feel like I was riding stupid fast in a lot of sections. I'm not sure how much faster I can go. What is it going to take the overall season win in this class? At about the halfway point, it looks like I'm going to have to finish strong. Push hard until I have nothing left. And at the end, no matter how the points shake out, at least I can say I gave it my all, and I practiced hard for my first season in the B class. Once again, I want to thank you all for watching, especially those of you who made it to the end of this long video. There was a lot to share, and I hope it was entertaining. Now don't forget to share these videos, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you soon.